Hi everyone, and welcome to Kiali Sprint demo. Today we're going to have a demo from Kiali, from several presenters, and we're not going to have a Jaeger demo. We're going to start with Jay. Jay, please go ahead.
All right, hi everybody. We're not going to show a visual demo for the Saturn subteam this time because most of the work that we did in this sprint was towards infrastructure and Patternfly 4 migration. We did do a lot of work on the PF4 stuff, especially around the graph. We finished off the toolbar, namespace selection, the side panel, the graph find and hide stuff, and various other things. We also did a lot of work making sure that Kiali experience with Istio 1.4 upstream release is in good shape, and we helped move from Kiali 1.4 to a more recent version of Kiali.1.9 for the Istio release. Also updated docs to help make that like a really good experience. We helped coordinate with the Maestro 1.0.2 release. We also did a lot of operator work, installation work, and some more work around installations and working with the AWS environment. So we did quite a lot in this sprint, but visually we don't have anything for today. So go ahead, Lucas.
Okay, I guess the next will be Joel. He will present a couple of features, new features that he worked on this sprint. So, Joel?
Yeah, so I'm going to share my screen. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, great.
Yeah. Okay, so you should soon see the graph page here with Kiali. We have added some possibilities to add some details, to customize the details that are displayed in Kiali. So here, for instance, if I go to the UI details, workload details page, you can see that below the usual details that are always been shown by Kiali, like the created date, etc., I have added three new things: some URL, previous build URL, and commit SHA-1. So, and this URL will, for instance, bring me to the actual service that I'm that is under this microservice. So to get that, Kiali is not guessing anything. It's just some configuration has been added to the config map. So what I've done here, so this is the Kiali custom resource, so which is basically the same as the config map. We've added the additional display details field, where I can specify a number of annotations that Kiali will look for, and a title. And when Kiali finds this annotation that can be either for a workload or for a service, it will show the corresponding thing either as a link or as a raw text here in the workload details. In service details also I can have the same, like here in the UI service details I also have a URL that I've put. So this is basically something that we can hard code, well that we can define explicitly in the YAML, but it's also something that could be potentially generated by a CI or CD tool. For instance, this feature was actually requested by someone who wanted to add some CI/CD insight within Kiali. So we can imagine that when the CI runs, it will populate the commit SHA-1 inside the YAML of a workload, of a deployment, and then Kiali is able to show that. The second thing I wanted to tell is the envoy metrics. So, well, two things actually. There's the envoy metrics here that can be activated in Kiali. So to activate that, it needs to be explicitly asked in the deployment YAML. So for instance, I'm going to my YAML here, deployment, that one for instance. show you. It's the usual annotation, if you were aware of that, of the runtimes dashboard. So here I've just put Kiali runtimes envoy, and now it's showing some envoy metrics. So this is the boot up time, the allocated memory, heap size. There's a couple of them. Of course, the dashboard can be enhanced and it can be modified to add more metrics, because envoy exposed much more metrics than what we actually show here, but it's just a sample. So if I go to the applications, for instance, and show the envoy metrics here, I can see by version, and I can see well, I've started a new pod, but it should soon go up. Anyway, I can see the memory that takes the sidecar container, the envoy sidecar container, the heap size, etc. Another thing, more visual, is just we've improved a little bit the legend and the interactive legend here. That it now can be clicked here. I'd like to see more pods, but just wait a little bit that the V2 is visible. There's just one point. So anyway, I wanted to show that the legend can be clicked to show and hide different metrics. Also now the tooltip is showing here the legend, the color indicator, to show which metrics we are pointing on. And that's all for my side.
Thank you a lot, Joel. Very nice features that we have presented. I guess the next one will be Xavi, that will present a couple of features related to validation. Okay, Xavi?
Hello, can you hear me? Can you see my Bluetooth?
I can hear you, I can see the screen.
Okay. So do you see the overview page of Kiali now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I would like to introduce you a couple of features, all of them related to validations. The first one is that in the overview page, what we see now is that every namespace has a part of the card has a overview of the validations of the status of the configuration here. Okay, so for example, on purpose we have here a Istio system, 2 warnings, and in the book info we have like all the items, all the Istio object configs are all right. For example, we can go here and then we'll see that there's no problems, no warnings, no errors. Let me add a couple of one error related to that, which is I'm going to auto destination rule for version 4, and you'll see that when I'm coming here, we see that we have reintroduced an error, right? We have here 1 error and 1 warning, as you can see. So Kiali is analyzing all the objects you have here, and it's clever enough to tell you that there's a problem in the subsets and that there's something happening over here, right? So if you go to the overview now, we should see that this has changed and it has the same status, that it is one error found and 1 warning found, right? Of course, since it's an error, it has impact to the service mesh. Let me show you another error, and we will see the second functionality, the second feature. This feature is related to it's an enhancement of the user experience regarding the debugging of your config files, right? So now I've introduced this virtual service here. So if I'm clicking, I see that there's an error. This is the usual information, visual information that explains how is distributed this virtual service. But now in the YAML page, one interesting things we can see is that besides the errors on the specific lines, we see references, the objects that are making the YAML that we see invalid or has a warning, right? So it says that the object called bookinfo in the namespace bookinfo is the one defining the same host. So if I'm clicking here, what I can see is that there's this host here that is overriding the other host, right? So what we have now is a better a better way to go between one object and the offending other objects, right? In our opinion, it's going to be like an easy way for debugging, understanding what is happening, not just saying the problem, but also saying pointing the objects are making impact over these other YAMLs. And yeah, that's it from my side.
Okay, thank you, Xavi. I'm going to try to share as well my screen. Please let me know if you can. Okay, can you see my Kiali now?
Yes.
Yes.
I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Great. So I would like just to show a quick update of the work that we are doing in the configuration. As you know, one of the goals at Kiali is also to help to manage Istio in a way that is more easy to do that. So one of the efforts that we are doing is to improve the actions under the services. You know, when we declare any Istio configurations, we take as base the service, right? The target, the service that is going to impact. And we have created several wizards that are, these wizards are well known. But one thing that we are trying to improve is the way that the options that we can do. So as long as we get more involved with the Istio, we realize that that the Istio configuration can be can go from the more simple way and with a lot of complexity. And the security settings could be one of them. So at the beginning, what we try to do with Kiali is, for example, to automatically set up the MTLS, the mod. So when Kiali detects that Istio is defined with mutual security in the mesh, so the wizards are automatically to propagate that config. But it may happen that you may want to do some custom automation, right? And this one could be the TLS, and you may want to define, as an example, your own certificate because you want to create, to connect one service with an external service which is managed with different certificates. And you may want to have the flexibility on the wizard because you may want, to reduce the wizard, but probably something that you want to do is to also to propagate this configuration and to have the flexibility of the wizard, but also with the capability to add more custom properties on these options. And in this way, we are going to create, the virtual services by you. We are going to create the destination rules, but we can see that now the destination rules can be created with more details, and allow, for example, from the wizard to go to the updates, and we can update this information, directly from the wizard without go to the YAML to manipulate that. So we are working on that direction. So this is just the first wizard, the first scenarios that we are working on. The idea from Kiali is to introduce more use cases coming from the feedback from the users in order to provide a better experience when you are managing Istio at configuration level. Just last, another item that is not visual that we have working hard on this sprint is that we improve caching capabilities. So now when we are, to perform all this validation that Xavi showed demo in previous, at the end, what Kiali needs to do is to collect a lot of information from the cluster, a lot of Istio objects from a single namespace or several namespaces. Now this information has been improved to the backend and is catching, and we improve the caching way, that in other words, to be more faster and to improve the performance of the services. Yeah, and I guess that's it, what I wanted to show. Thank you.
All right, everyone, thank you for such a great demo and such great feature additions, and see you at the next demo.